Hi, I'm Daniel Gonzalez. I'm actually 39 years old and I have autism. I am raised in Miami, born in Jersey. I come from two Hispanic parents that are very well endowed when it comes to Spanish, especially living in Miami. So, how is my story with autism? Well, I would say basically, I went through a lot of trials and tribulation as someone back in the days in like early 80s, 90s. Autism was very not really talked about or associated with. A lot of times, they'll think with autism with severe, flapping of the hands and decreased eye contact or inability to speak. During that time frame of growing up, I was actually put in a lot of special classes and special schools. A lot of times my parents would try to put me in private school, and that didn't last too long, unfortunately, because they didn't know how to work with me. So a lot of times I was in put inclusion programs that will allow me to work with other children, other peers that were had similarities to autism or ADHD or other diagnoses that were put all in, I would say, one mezcla, as we say it in Spanish. It was definitely a mix of all of us put in one classroom. And so a lot of times the teachers that we have didn't understand what autism was or didn't care to understand, I'll be really honest, because it's a very hard diagnosis to work with in all aspects. But at the same time, I had two upbringings, two extremes. I had the really amazing teachers that helped you out, and then you had the extreme teachers that didn't care to help you out. They will be like, oh, I don't think you're gonna make it past 21, or they don't think that I will ever get a higher form of education. I was told that consistently throughout my childhood, and that's something that gave me strength, or gave me strength to want to communicate with others. I was blessed enough to have really great friends that understood my situation, and they helped me out throughout my years, especially going out, because going out in loud places was not my forte, or meeting new people or new destinations was extremely hard. With that being said, yes, that gave me motivation. The Spanish community, I would tell you, is it's a blessing in that aspect. I had a lot of mentors from all types of backgrounds, and especially in Miami, a lot of Venezolanos, Colombians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and it's like a tight-knit community. So if they know you're struggling, they always come to your where you're at. You don't have to worry. They're there for you, especially if you came from a classroom where they tell you you're never gonna make it. They were there for you to make it. And because of that aspect and because of the great therapies that I had, I was able to finish with a master's degree in occupational therapy. With that being said, it was a long, hard process. I actually went through vocational rehab. If anybody knows from Florida, vocational rehab, once you graduate, they aid you and constantly support your ability to want to make it. I did, going to community college, I went to regular college, and then I found the right fit for me, which was a private college called Kaiser University. I first started the quota program there, and it was just mind-boggling. Like, everything that was done to me, I understood why. Why was the concept? What part of the brain you're working on? Why we do what we do, and why is it so important to be independent? So going to that classroom, I did have a teacher, again, do the same thing all over again. Tell me that I shouldn't be in this program. I was called really disgusting names by that teacher. And I actually graduated one of the top 3 in my class. And that gave me fuel to move forward with that whole program. At the same time, while I was moving through that program, I was actually dating somebody. That's atypical as well, but she's behind the camera right now. And it was a really weird and awesome date, because just imagine 2 people who are atypical dating while going to college, while trying to figure out how to work, while trying to learn how to make friends and not panic all the time. I was blessed enough to be open about it. So was she. And we were able to move forward in my life as somebody as on the spectrum. The biggest thing that I would tell you is that after years of being pushed to do my master's and have faith in myself and faith in the people who believe in me, I actually got my master's in occupational therapy and been doing pediatric therapy for probably about 15 years as an assistant and as someone has their master's. It's been the biggest blessing that I've ever had because I get to work with kids that I get the chance to speak to the parents, and they're like, we tried every therapy place and we don't know what to do, and we're scared. And I get to say, hi, I have autism too. I made it. And you know what? My kid has autism as well. So that being said, I try to give them peace of mind always, because it's a spectrum. No two childs alike. Not one person's like me. Not we have different sensory profiles of how we react and stuff like that. So I tell the parents, let's figure it out. Let's go forward. Let's try to see, well, what is the niche of what's going on, creating these behaviors and everything that's happening. So with that being said, how does it work for me as a professional? I take what happened to me of people not believing in me. So this very day, I still get, as being an adult, oh, you don't have autism. You don't look like you have autism. Well, masking is a really big deal to survive as somebody who's in the neurotypical world. I mask like there's no tomorrow, because I'm also afraid of getting talked down to or being told, oh, you don't look special, or well, if you looked at my other classrooms when I was young and you saw me how I was young, I think you would say, holy cow, how did he make it? But at the same time, I try to educate everyone that this is not an easy role. I think anybody who says it's going to be an easy role, they have all the answers, that doesn't work that way. I don't think I have all the answers. I think that if we take initiation to, as a community, as somebody from 305 Miami, to come in and just be like, hey, you know what, let's talk together, let's figure it out, let's get our community together. And that's the beauty of Miami. It's a really great community, I'll tell you the truth, when it comes to autism. We come together and just figure things out and move forward. The other question they're asking me, how is it to be a parent of having autism and being a parent? I would say it's really hard. I would say that I can't be so narrow-minded. A lot of times I like to get stuck in my ways, and having that adaptive behavior is crucial, especially when you have two atypical children and you have an atypical wife. You have to learn to manage everything all simultaneously, while learning how to pay bills, learning how to parent to your kids, learning how to put all those things together, and hopefully you come out with the right answer every day. I would say it's hard, but my biggest blessing has been understanding certain moments when it comes to the breakdowns that my child has, or understanding my wife's sensory overload when it comes to sound, or understanding my little one, when she can't process something, how to take that time to step back and regulate themselves so they can be more proficient. I'm a proud father. I mean, I take this seriously to every aspect, and I try to advocate consisting that we can do things. We can be a father, we can be a mother, we can be great workers. There's a reason why we have obsession, and a lot of times our obsession is what gets us through. My obsession is occupational therapy and of being a good father and husband. There's no greater obsession that I have than that. And so that's how I try to be a parent, just be, not having my obsession for figures, because it's pretty bad, but putting that obsession and adaptive behavior into my family and workload. My thing I would say as an advocate, don't think about autism as something that it all looks the same. Some people might have it really severe, some people might have it minor, but we're all struggling in certain ways to be part of this neurotypical community. The neurotypical community is unforgiving. I would say that they really don't care about your diagnosis when it comes to professionalism or being out there. But I think that if you go with an open mind and open heart on understanding that, you know what, hey, we might do things differently. It might take us a little bit of that time. Suggest, advocate for, like, we're not all the same, and there's so many strengths that we bring into the table, and there's so many. I love talking to the Reddit community of autism. I love speaking, talking to the other people who might be in the same. In Reddit, they have actual um, group with OTs who have ASD, and let me tell you, man, these guys could find ways to like implement you know, like different ways of therapy, because it's just different strength that they have, and I get to speak to those people and be blessed enough to be engaged. And that's pretty much, like, I would say, as my message as someone who's Hispanic, that comes from a Hispanic background. You know, there's always a little bit of, like, I would say, like, sazon in everything we do as Hispanics, and being out there and being proud of how far we have made it since the 80s, you know, people's first, you know, moment. I would say that, you know, I'm proud to have such a great community, and I am proud to have the people who support me. And I just hope that, you know, if you ever meet somebody with high functioning autism, regardless of the moderate, mild, whatever it may be, that you will have an open mind to seeing how our ability to engage in work and family life is possible.
My name is Lalita Tulin, and I'm come from Monterrey, Mexico. 23 years ago, I'm coming to Florida in Hillsborough County. And almost 20 years ago, I'm a mother with Connor. Connor is a Down syndrome kid. He's mute and autistic. And 3 years later, born my son, Jack. He's 17 already, and he is autistic too. So, one of the most important things to me is prepare my kids to independent life, what I can do. So the first thing that I do is be together or make together the activities with the therapist and the supervisor of my therapist, because I like involved in all the activities. As soon as my therapy finish in home, we can continue to reinforce these activities. It's not easy because since pandemia, to me was the most important time in life of my kids, because they growing up a lot in all these activities. Because I'm a teacher and I have a master in communication and education for Universidad Autónoma de Barcelona. And when you prepare for made a communication and your kids don't have communication, like is the case of my two sons, you don't know what this situation affect the future of your kids, you know? Why? Well, because I have a situation in the school with a teacher, and my kids can communicate what's happening in the school. But when you're a mother, when you're a father, the special needs kid, you understand no verbal, but you can understand your kids just because you love your kids, right? So the most important thing to me is give all the love to your sons a lot, because they need this to feel safe with your house, and believe the things around the kids is super important to save our kids. So other thing is very, very important to me is have a good communication with the teachers, with the people around your kid, therapists, supervisors. Include with the people work in the library or in the YMCA or around your area. Have a good team around your neighbors, because I'm a single mother and I have a chat with other mothers here in my community. To that something happened to me, you need to have more plans, not just plan 2, plan 3, plan 4. Every single relationship and the people around you, you can explain. And it's not bad that you explain to others what is the condition that your kids. So the first suggestion to me is learn more about your kids' conditions, and then you can talk with others what's happened and what is the situation. Because it's hard for other persons understand what is the condition that your kid. But when you understand the condition, it's very easy to share with others the reason that your son can talk, or why he screams, or why she are very loud, or whatever. So the thing is, you can understand first the condition, because you don't have in control all the persons around your area, you live, or your relatives. So because you need teach to them what's going on with the condition that your kids. So be at teams all the time, express yourself what you feel. I say all the time, I can be depressed because my kid born with Down syndrome, because I have 3 miscarriages before he born. So I feel very happy when I have a corner in my arms, and he made me a mom. Then the doctor says that he survived just 6 months because he had a big heart murmur. They put me more nervous because why again lose my baby? And look at that, it's almost 20. He have a very healthy life. He is super demanding kid. But if you feel depressed, just put in action. Do too many things together with your kids. Don't shy because the kid made noise. Go outside with them. Go to the supermarket, to the stores, to all the places. We go often outside with the therapist, and now I can go with my kid by myself and I don't have any problem. So I recommend to you the put out your kids at your house and make activities together with all the community. Clean the streets, go to the gym, go to the library, and enjoy the time with your kids. Love is the most important thing, and this is our kids. So we can go to the certificate to the hospital to, hey, I don't want this kid because it's very noisy, or I don't want this kid just changing because this is the receipt. No, you can go to the customer service to do this. You need to understand the condition. You need love your kids. And the most important thing for this situation is the love. And doesn't matter what's thinking the other people, just thinking that these people can understand, because no are in your shoes. They don't have your back in the bag. Just be compassionate for others for don't understand the situation. But you be proud because these kids say to you all the time that you are okay here and physical. And this is the reward that we have in the life. Check that we are okay to give the best to our kids.
Hi, my name is Rosali and I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I have a doctor's degree in clinical psychology, and for the past 8 years I've been working here in Central Florida with children and teenagers on the mental health and early intervention field. My journey with autism started during my postdoctoral residency. There, I got to meet my first patients with autism. Getting to know them, learning more about the diagnosis, and also seeing how their brain worked, started to build a special interest in the autism diagnosis. Later on, autism also impacted my family and some of my closest friends' children were also being diagnosed on the spectrum. Currently, I work for an early learning program. And in this role, we serve a lot of underserved and multiple ethnicities families. A big chunk of the population that we serve are Hispanic and Latino families. Being from Puerto Rico and being able to speak to them in my native language of Spanish has helped me form connections and be of service for these families. When they come to the program and share with us some of their concerns regarding their children not meeting the milestones, their pediatricians recommending that they get evaluations, or they have been freshly diagnosed with autism, they share with me a wave of uncertainty, fear, and confusion. Mostly they express that this confusion comes from not knowing where to start or what to do next. They also share that some of the time they don't understand the information that they're being provided. And this is because most of the specialists that they attend are native English speakers. So that forms a big gap and a language barrier in them understanding the information about their child diagnosis and what are the next steps to take. They also share sometimes they feel that they encounter racial discrimination or that their voices are dismissed. They come to their pediatricians to let them know that they think their babies are a little bit delayed on their speech or other milestones, and they get turned away easily. Pediatricians often give them false hope, telling them it's just a thing of being raised in a dual language home and that probably their babies are going to outgrow them. What happens then is that these families go home trusting, these pediatricians, and they lose essential time for early intervention. When they come to us, they usually are in a closer age to their educational start, and there they feel frustrated with the fact that they have lost a lot of time and that they still feel that they don't understand their children's diagnosis. Being able to provide services for them in Spanish have opened up a lot of questions and have helped me empower families to learn more about their child's diagnosis, to be able to teach them how to seek help. I've also opened up opportunities for them to reach out to services and accompany them in the process of learning about companies who provide services in Spanish. A lot of the challenges that Hispanic families with autistic children face are those language barriers and being able to fully understand the reports that their children are getting, the tools that they're being told to use, and how to best help their children move forward. I know there's a lot of things that still need to happen for Hispanic families with children with autism. For example, it is important that we start working on educating more professionals that look and speak like them, that can help provide services in Spanish for Hispanic, and can also help them understand that they are seen, that they have people who understand their culture, who understand their fears, and who can connect to them at another level. There's also things that we can do advocating for the specialists and doctors to continue to engage in becoming more culturally sensitive. We can also work on creating tools that are translated and validated in Spanish. So when our families receive documentation, reports, that information is in their primary language, and they can clearly understand the results that they're getting the services that their children need, and the recommendations and tools to use to help their children strive. We have a long road ahead of us helping families from Hispanic origin. But I know if we continue to put services together, if we continue to raise awareness, and if we continue to advocate for those services, we are going to be able to help a big population, especially here in Central Florida, move forward, feel empowered, and help their children get the services they need and they deserve. Equal opportunities of high quality health care and early intervention services, so autism can be part of their journey but not define them.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Perez. I am the mother of 2 children. One that he is an energetic, happy, kind boy. He's 11 years old. He was diagnosed with autism when I moved here from Puerto Rico. I struggle because I knew my son needed help, but I do not understand how to help him. So having the opportunity to find organizations like Autism Speak that have information available in Spanish was an essential tool for me to start the process of understanding my son's diagnosis and looking forward for resources and services available around the area that meet our family needs, not just understanding and supporting the disability diagnosis, also understanding the language barrier that we also, as a family, have a limitation to comprehend information. And I think that gave me help to feel secure on understanding on my primary language what I need to do, where I can find the help, and how plan to do a plan of care for my son. Right now, he's available to play, have fun, being a child, be happy kid, because I have the opportunity to access information on my own language. Later on, I decide to learn English because I know that if I was here, I was more able to do more things if I learn the second language. However, a lot of families don't have the same privilege as me, that I was able to catch the second language and I was exposed on my early age. And they have a real struggle to supporting their families, even just to make a call, to schedule an appointment, just to say personal information. So it's so many things that limit them that sometimes the families opt to not follow through the process. So I appreciate taking time to watch this video. I understand as a mom, as an advocate of a Hispanic support group named Mi Rayito Azul, I find the importance to support my husband to understand my son's diagnosis in Spanish. I was able to do it, but he need more. He need contact to other parents that have similarities, that can share experience about autism in Spanish. And I'm glad that I make that move, that now I'm not only sharing my own experience, I give recommendations to others, I also exchange information about resources available in the community in Spanish, because the struggle is real. And I know that we live here in the United States, but we have to consider that the Hispanic community is a big minority that is keep growing, and how we can better serve this vulnerable population that have a disability diagnosis and also an additional language barrier. So for me, it's very important to address this message for English speakers to understand that having a second language is important. because you can deliver more messages to more people, and you can spread awareness, you can spread more services, and you can improve so many people life having access to information, resources, and services in Spanish. I am very proud to speak Spanish. I'm very proud to represent my family, and my son is proud to be Puerto Rican, even that he struggled with speech impairment, with cognitive skills. He loved his culture. He recognized that he is from Puerto Rico, and he loved his culture. And I want him to keep that, because we don't have the need to erase who we are. We should need to adapt where we come from where we at now, but never eliminating our identity. We are Puerto Ricans, we are Hispanic, we speak Spanish, we are very excited to help the community, and we want to do more. So I appreciate your time. I hope this video helped you to understand there is a lot of people in my shoes, but some of them have opportunity to learn English, some of them no, because some of them even struggle with their own language. So how we can help these families that maybe are low income, that maybe they have even a disability, because in our countries in the past, they don't have a lot of medical support. They just wait and wait, or maybe ignore that the kid at that moment need help. So please be aware that it's not just autism, it's more than that. So thank you for your time.
Hi to everyone, to the beautiful people of Florida, the Sunshine State. My name is Gualberto Rodriguez. I'm an adult with autism. I am from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, and it's a pleasure to address to you about part of my life with autism. As an adult with autism, I've been passed through struggles, but I'm very proud to be the man who I am. Living with autism is possible. I was born on October 6, 1986, soon to be 37, and I was adopted at the second day of being born. The reason of my adoption was because my mother, my biological mother, had 13 years old when she gave me birth, and the family think that being adopted was the best option. When my parents adopted me, they believed that I was a normal kid, as all kids. You know, the expectation of every parent is that when a kid is born, is that the child is going to be healthy and everything, but not always happens. When I start growing up and my first 3 years of life, my parents noticed that I was a very different child from the others one. They noticed that I can socialize, that I was a lonely child, and they noticed that I didn't have friends. I always want to play alone. I was picky with the food. I only ate baby food, chicken, French fries. They was my only food, and milk with chocolate. I didn't like to be hugged, kissed, or touched. And my parents, when noticed all this strange behavior, they said, "Why is having this behavior?" They took me to the pediatrician, but the pediatrician said that it was normal, my development, but my parents insist, no, he has something different. And the pediatrician sent me to the neurologist, and the neurologist certified that I have autism, PDD, and OS, that is called pervasive development disorder, not otherwise specified. And years later, it was going to be called Asperger's syndrome. When I was a kid, I developed as a normal kid. My parents took me to therapies like physical, speech, and occupational. In the therapies, I developed my skills of speech, of sensorial, and physical, motor physical. So now I have strength in my hands. I can be hugged, kissed, touched. Now I can enjoy all types of food. And And then my parents treat me as a normal kid. In my childhood years, I developed as a normal kid. No social media, no technology, just playing with other kids on the neighborhood, riding bicycle, playing sports, playing games, and all those activities helped me to develop my social skills. Obviously, as a kid with autism, I suffer from bullying in school and in the neighborhood sometimes, but doesn't stop me of being the person that I am right now. In my teenage years, I went to middle and high school as I did on my childhood years, and in the school I developed social and academic skills. I've been so my strength skills on academics was mathematics and English class. That's what I know very good English, especially in elementary school. In middle and high school, my strength part was history class because I love history, geography. When I was on the teenage years, as a normal teenager, I went to parties. I got in love. I had a girlfriend, and that helped me a lot to develop my social skills. In my adulthood years, when I finished high school, I went to college. I studied music, and after I finished studying music, now I developed. I had different jobs. And my job actually is as a teacher assistant on a private school here in Puerto Rico. And I studied 2 years ago musical production. My goals are getting married, having kids, and make my own music, bring my testimony with autism to other states, to Florida, other states, and other countries around the world, and be someone in my life. My suggestion to you is that live with autism is possible, no matter the struggles. Believe in your child, and live with autism is possible. God bless you and the Virgin Mary, and God bless the children and adults with autism of the United States and around the world.